Welcome to Unit 3 of English 101 here at Eastern Gateway Community College. So for this third unit, we're in week 3, we are going to look at organization for essays, specifically the focus and the shape. The first 2 weeks of this course, of course, if you remember back, first week was the personal narrative, which I enjoyed reading those and getting to know you. However, those were not academic essays. So it was a good way for you to get your feet wet, get some writing down, get some feedback, so then we can start moving into actual academic essays. And of course, week 2, you worked on the reader response, which is another step in being able to read something and something that you chose, and then respond to it. As you move to your other classes and you're following into your major or what your career field is going to be, the reader response is going to be something that you'll come in contact with again and again, reading an assignment or a chapter or an article about your career study and then being able to respond to it. So I'm working on those and I'll get those graded this week. But for week 3, I wanted to kind of point out some things because, like I said, this is the first academic essay that you're writing. So it's going to be completely different. So in a way, I kind of want you to throw out everything that you thought about writing that first essay because you were writing about yourself. So that is a completely different style of writing than we're going to be doing an academic essay. So you used a lot of I statements and focused on yourself. So that's going to shift as we write the rest of these essays, and you're going to want to take out those personal pronouns. So the focus is on the subject and not yourself. Okay. So I'm not going to go through every single thing here with the lectures because hopefully you're going through those. You want to go through, there's a couple videos in here. There's some websites that the links will take you to, but I did want to point out that some specifics that I know in the past that some students have kind of overlooked, or it's kind of tripped them up when they're writing their paper. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So let's start here. After you've read these 2 sections, of course, I want to point out here the organization through shape. Okay, so one of the things about having an organized essay is it has to have a regular flow. Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to focus in on this essay. This week is not a research essay. You're going to pick a topic of something that you already know about, and there's going to be example topics that I really want you to follow in the assignment directions. But before we get to that, of what you're going to be doing specifically for the essay, to be able to have an organized essay, and that's the main focus of this essay for this week, is you need to have all of the certain components of an essay. So before you get to a rough draft, it helps to have an outline. Okay, so this can be something, it doesn't have to be formal, but writing something down in some kind of an outline form before you start your rough draft is very helpful. I can almost tell when somebody just starts writing an essay and doesn't have any thought of where they're going to start with the essay and then where they're going to end up. So that's why that's why I wanted to spend a little bit of time on this section. Okay, so you're going to start out with an outline. You're not going to turn in the outline, but this is to help you get your thoughts organized and to make sure that you have everything that you need for the essay. So, of course, we have an introduction, and these different things, or all the different components of the actual introductory paragraph. Okay, now this does not have it in order, but there is one thing that I do want you to put in order somewhat. I want the thesis statement to be your very last sentence of the introduction. That's just a good standard to follow to make sure that you know where your thesis is, and then I can easily see it when I go to grade it. So your introduction is going to usually start with the attention grabber. Okay, here it's listed as just one of the things you're going to include, but I think a lot of essays do really well when they start with the attention grabber. Okay, and here are some strategies that you can look at when you can click on this link here. And you're going to want to, if your attention grabber doesn't really talk about what your topic is, but it has like, oh, the readers, wants to read more about it. So you're going to have another line about talking about what your topic is. And then your very last sentence in the introductory paragraph is the thesis statement. Okay. So, and sometimes you need to have this signposting sentence that moves you to all of this other stuff to the sentence, to the thesis statement rather. Okay. So all of that's in your introductory paragraph. Okay. Then your thesis, and we're going to talk about that. I have a slide here I want to show you. Your thesis is going to outline what your body paragraphs are going to be, because you're going to have a topic and you're going to make a claim about that topic. And then you're also going to point out what are the 3 main things that you're going to cover about that topic. Okay? So this thesis statement really is a roadmap for the rest of your essay. And here is part of the formula that you're going to want to follow. Okay, so then your body paragraphs are going to follow what you've already set up. You can have, each body paragraph should focus on one of those points that you're trying to make about your topic. So you're probably going to have, this is a 2-page essay, so you're probably going to have 3 to 4 paragraphs, but you want to keep them focused. And then, of course, you're going to have a conclusion. Okay, it doesn't have to be in conclusion or my conclusion or anything like that. But you can look on this link here and it will tell you some different ways to make sure that you are concluding your essay. So I want to look at a couple other things. Okay, so this next page here in the class it goes through what a sample outline can be. Okay, so it's the shape of your paragraph. Okay, you have the focus and how is it going to shape up. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at, we're going to go back here to Unit 3. Okay, so you can also look here at the thesis, talking about different places you can put the thesis, but remember for this essay, it's going to be the last sentence of the introductory paragraph. Okay, so let's look at this overall assignment that you're going to be writing. Okay, the purpose of the organization essay is to put all of the tools together. Okay, this is your first real organized academic essay for this class. Okay, so we talked a lot about last week about brainstorming and how to get started. You can use any of these things, and this isn't something that you're going to turn in, but this is something to help you get started. So while I know some people had mentioned about how these are, kind of messy, and it's just getting you to get more information out of your brain onto paper. So this is something that you do for yourself. Okay, so here are your options, okay, for the topic. You can use the topic from the reader response if you like, but this is not a research essay. So if you chose a topic where you kind of already know a lot of things about and you can write an essay, you can use that. Or there are several topics down here to choose from. Okay, and I want you to kind of either do one of these, what you wrote about for your reader's response, if you already know a lot about it without doing research to write about it, or you want to write about one of these 4 topics. Okay, and I'm going to be kind of strict on that because what has happened in the past, and I always try and come up with things to help you write your best. What has happened in the past are people wanted to write another narrative essay or wanted to write about, go into doing research, and this is not what this paper is about yet. Okay, so this is not going to be about yourself. It's not necessarily an opinion piece where you're going to say, in my opinion, and this is what I agree. So the focus is going to be on the topic and not yourself. Okay, so once you have your topic, remember from the reader response, as long as it's not researchable or you have to research, or one of these 4 topics. Okay, and then you're going to have your topic, and then you're going to make a claim about the topic, and that's going to be your thesis statement. And hang on to that because I'm going to show you an example in just a moment. Okay, then once you get this part of the formula for the thesis, then you're going to think about what are the 3 points. And what I'm going to have you do is put all of this together in one thesis statement. It's really helpful for when we do move on to doing research. Okay, So once you have done all of that, you have you've done your pre-writing, you've come up with a thesis, and then you're going to write out your outline. Again, this isn't going to be turned in, but it's usually pretty apparent who does or does not write an outline because it doesn't have that flow, that shape, and that focus, remember. Okay, so then once you have that, you are going to write your essay. Okay, and you want to make sure that you're revising it and editing it. Your essay should have a title. Remember, this should be 2 full pages using that MLA formatting. And on the announcements, I have a little sample of how your paper should look. So make sure that your paper looks like that. Okay, this is not a research paper. Okay, so please only pick a topic that you're familiar with, either one that you wrote on reader response or one of these 4. Okay. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to show you this quick slide, and this will be on the announcements as well. So this is kind of a checklist. I'm going to have this on the weekly announcement little newsletter there. Okay. So use one of the topic selections listed in the essay instructions. Okay. We just went over that. There's no research needed for this. I don't want you to focus in on how to use in-text citations or using a works cited page. This is just about organization. Okay. I want you to use the formula for writing the thesis statement. Okay. And I'm going to come back to that in just a second. You're going to create the outline. And of course, it does not need to be turned in with the final draft. That is just for you to help with your organization. The thesis statement should be the last sentence of the introduction. And the thesis statement should help you organize the body paragraphs of your essay. Again, it's the roadmap. It should have the 3 main points that will support your claim. Okay, so here's an example of kind of the progression of a thesis statement. So if you take the topic of Hufflepuffs, okay, for all you Harry Potter fans, Hufflepuffs make the best friends. Okay, so that's kind of your claim, your position on it. Okay, topic, and you've gone a little bit more into detail. Okay, so now we have topic, position, and rationale. Think of this as the because step. Why are they make the best friends? Well, Hufflepuffs make the best friends because they are accepting and loyal. All right. So we're going to take this a little bit farther to add in those 3 points, those supportive points. The topic, position, the rationale, and the qualification. And this is kind of called the although step. Although they are often overlooked and considered oddballs, Hufflepuffs make the best friends because of their deep-seated values of loyalty. That's support number 1. Dedication, support number 2. And acceptance, support number 3. All crucial traits in friendship. Okay, so that goes back to that because step. All right. So back to your checklist, you're going to create an original title. This isn't called organization essay. Your title should have kind of a clue of what your topic is. Please make sure you proofread for grammatical and mechanical errors. A good idea, since this is a focus on organization, is to read it out loud or have someone read it to you. Then you can hear those sentences that don't quite fit or there's a word missing. Okay, and before you upload your paper, compare it one last time to the rubric, and that's in that where the instructions are. Does it meet all the standards? Because that's what I use to grade your essay. So you want to make sure that it's following all the rubric. So, all right. So a lot of things here, since this is our first 2-page organized academic essay. Okay, please reach out with any questions. I think it's going to be a great week, and I will see you in class.